Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Value Max, and today I'm bringing you another video about XLM. Let's talk about what's been happening with the price currently, go on with a little price analysis, and what am I expecting next to happen with Stellar Lumen? When are we going to break the $1 mark? And what are all the positive news related to XLM? So if you guys don't want to miss any of that important information, make sure you subscribe and turn the notification bell so you don't miss any of that important stuff. Now let's not waste any more time, and before we can understand what's been happening recently, which is actually, I can already tell you, very bullish, we need to go back in time. And basically, until 19th of November, the coin was pretty much very stable. And what I mean by that is, yes, we had some ups and downs, but basically the volumes were extremely low and we had a lot of stability in the coin. And the volumes were low, but it was quite healthy. The coin was just actually stagnating between the 0.08 basically towards until 21st of November. That's when we had our first bull run, which basically drove the price past the 0.11 cent. And that was very big for XLM at the time. And then we broke new highs of roughly 0.22 cents, which basically 2x in roughly 23 till 25. So basically in 2 days we had basically 2x, which is huge. And that was the first parabolic run for XLM which is experienced. What's interestingly enough to notice is that parabolic run was then followed by some correction. People, obviously, when you start making huge gains in such short notice, people started selling and we had some sell-off and correction, and that drove the price roughly back down to 0.12 cents. That was back in 4th of January, beginning of 2021, when altcoins really started taking off. And especially for XLM, that's when we saw this massive surge from 0.11 all the way to 0.4, so basically a 4x in roughly again 2 days. So it's very quick with XLM. These time frame when they have these parabolic run, it goes really fast. And so that was very good for XLM. And then that was again followed by some correction. People started securing in some profits, selling off, and that drove back the price down to 0.24. That was 27th, 28th of Jan, and then that led to a massive bull run again, which is basically towards 12th of Feb. Now, why am I going through this? You're going to tell me this is past, but in order for us to be able to predict accordingly for the future of XLM, we need to go back in its price forecast. And what we see is very similar bullish behavior. Now we have massive upsell, we have massive bullish run, followed by some correction driving back the price. Interestingly enough, we were able to stay within these two resistance levels between 0.4 and 0.34. That was roughly on the period of 5th of April all the way back to 23rd of Feb. And that was very bullish because the coin overall showed stability, the volumes were lower, and overall the coin didn't, the bears didn't manage to take the upper hand. And what we are seeing happening now is very similar to what happened on 13th of Feb. We had this massive bull run until 13th of April, where that was followed by some correction. Now, people were very scared because all cryptocurrencies took a hit because of some bad press, and obviously we started having some sell-off. And like I said, guys, never be too scared when you have some sell-off. If you see this behavior, it's extremely bullish and normal, because if you look at the prior bull run in 12th of Feb, we're seeing the exact same behavior. So it's not a sign for you to say XLM is dead. In fact, it should just tell you that XLM will break new highs very soon because it's been behaving in such similar pattern. And what we are seeing now is similar to what we saw on 24th of Feb, where we are currently trading within these two resistance level between 0.47 and 0.56. I believe that when we are able, and we are on a very bullish sign because we're making higher highs, the volumes are clearly positive for the bulls, and we're making higher lows, so very bullish sign. I believe that very soon we'll be able to break that new resistance level and eventually reach new highs. And I'm extremely bullish because I've seen this pattern happening. I also called out prior to that, it was early April, how we were seeing this beautiful cup and handle formation. And for the people who saw the video, they probably managed to secure some good profit because from here to here, we had some massive runoff. And so, guys, if you don't want to miss any of that important stuff, make sure you keep up with my XLM news on a daily basis so you don't miss any of that important stuff. Now, I believe that XLM will pass the $1 mark. XRP has done it, XLM will follow, guys. And it might take more time, but XLM will follow. And I strongly believe that XLM has a lot more to offer than XRP in the long term. And I believe that XLM will surpass XRP in the long term. And let's go into the news about why. Now, Stellar replaced Swift, guys. XLM became the native currency of the world. All banks in the world ran the validator node on Stellar. Transactions are borderless. Currency conversion is done in a few seconds. This is the best description of what Stellar Lumen is in terms of exponential growth potential. Now, guys, XLM has massive upside in the long term. It solves a problem, so it has usability, scalability, and overall it solves a purpose, which is what we need for this currency to actually evolve and actually take off and pass that $1 mark. Extremely bullish news, and this is exactly why you should be bullish on Stellar also. Now, one other news which is important to notice is Grayscale. Now, Grayscale is one big whale in cryptocurrencies, and they have roughly around 44.9 billion under asset management, and they have a massive position into Lumen. Now, if you look at Lumen, they have roughly $34.2 million in a Stellar Lumen coin. And this just shows, guys, if you see big whales like that supporting a project like XLM, it should tell you something that the coin is actually a project that is, once these projects get backed up by a big institution, you can assure stability for your money. And not only that, you can only expect good things in the future because this will bring a network effect and exposure to Stellar Network. And so this is overall very bullish sign. Now, one other bullish sign is that not only does Grayscale look into XLM, but other institutions look to buy XLM in mass. And that's a very good news also, as we see more institutional demand for XLM skyrocketing. As there's more exposure towards XLM, we will see this parabolic run eventually break new highs and eventually reach that $1 mark, which we are all waiting for. And it's coming very soon, guys. So just be patient. I am certain that very soon, towards end of May, we can expect this to happen. Now, another news which I'm very bullish for is that Stellar is the future of cryptocurrency. The Ukrainian government picked Stellar Development Foundation to help build national digital currency. What another great example to that I talked about exposure and usability. When we see governments talking about using the Stellar Development Foundation, this is huge in terms of news for XLM. Because just imagine the exposure if Ukrainian government releases their digital euro. Um, uh, if they release their national digital currency, what this would do in terms of exposure for Stellar Lumen in terms of transaction, it's very good because people will hear about it and people will eventually get in. So very bullish news, and this is extremely bullish for the future of Stellar Lumen. Now, one other news which I thought I'd mention is that the State of Crypto Congress takes one step closer to regulatory clarity. Now, this is very good, as it might sound bad as the title of the press, but it's overall very good as states of different countries starts talking about cryptocurrencies. It means we are slowly moving towards this acceptance of cryptocurrencies. Now, we are far from that, but we are slowly moving towards it. Now, we see Ukraine, and I'll talk about with the EU looking to do a digital currency with the Stellar Development Foundation. But even we see that the US is talking about, the Congress is talking about regulatory clarity. It's very good to see that government are finally trying to work with cryptocurrencies and not against it. And that's very good because it will eventually bring stability for cryptocurrencies to prevent them to fail like they have, for example, in 2017. Now, one other very good news is that Coinbase now lets you buy cryptocurrencies with your PayPal account. This is one other very good news because it will bring more exposure to XLM. If, guys, more people are exposed to on the exchange such as Coinbase are able to use PayPal, that's another millions and millions of customers which will be exposed to the coin. So very bullish news for XLM as we see more exposure and more acceptability towards cryptocurrencies. We will eventually expect these market cap to grow higher. And so one very bullish news for XLM. Finally, guys, could the EU use Stellar Lumen to issue its CBDC? Very, very bullish news also, because the European Union is looking into using Stellar Lumens for its next digital currency, and this would be huge in terms of exposure for Stellar Lumen. Just imagine if all European country were to use the Stellar Lumen Foundation. This is insane, guys. This would not pass the $1. This would eventually pass the $5, $6, $7, $8 valuation, because this would be insane in terms of growth. So very, very bullish news. This hasn't been confirmed. These are rumors for the moment. But just the fact that we are hearing about it is a very positive sign and very bullish sign. So I'll keep you updated closely to what's happening with this in the future. But also, guys, 21 Shares unveiled world's first ADA, first Cardano ADA and Stellar XLM ETPs. This is also very big because it will eventually bring more exposure to XLM network. And when you look at the 21 share Cardano and the 21 share Stellar XLM are set to list on the six Swiss exchange, as well as the Stuttgart and Dusseldorf multilateral trading facilities on 26th of April. So it has been launched literally 4 days ago at this time of this recording, and will overall bring more exposure for cryptocurrencies and for Stellar Lumen more specifically. So very good news and bullish sign for crypto. And finally, guys, is the last news of this video is that Franklin Templeton, one of the world's largest asset manager with over 1.4 trillion, will issue a new fund on the Stellar blockchain. This is huge, guys. Just to show you in perspective, 1.4 trillion, and Franklin Templeton, guys, is the second biggest company under, just below BlackRock in terms of under asset management in terms of what they control. So very big to see that such huge institutions are actually getting into cryptocurrencies, and more specifically XLM. So very bullish sign as to what to expect next with Stellar Lumen, and I believe that we will reach and break new highs very time soon. As we are able to break through that new resistance zone of 0.56, we can expect the price to literally go parabolic from then. I believe that we will really soon enter new highs. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thought below. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of that important stuff. And I'll make sure to catch you in the next video. See you next time. Bye.